effort as well. We have platinum level, gold level, and silver level donors, and you'll see all of those. If you go back to platinum there, Aaron, those are those over $10,000. Our next level is gold, which is over 5,000. And then we have, which are gold investors, and then we have a number of companies that have given at least $1,000 to help us with this economic development programming and initiative. So this effort at GRCA is both publicly and privately funded, and certainly without the county's support, we would not be able to do what we are doing. And we also appreciate those that are supporting us on the private sector side as well. So as I say, we have a lot of great support both on the public and private side. And as you will see in the coming minutes here with our presentation, we've done a lot of work to try to advance the ball economically here in Berks County. And we're excited not only about the work that we did, but also the work that will be coming this year as well. So what I'd like to do now, I'd like to turn it over to Aaron Gantz, who's our Senior Director for Economic Development, to run through the specifics of the work we did in 2022 or 2021, and also highlight some things we're doing in 2022. We also have on the call, as you can see on the screen, Deb Millman, who is our Vice President of Development and also President of the Greater Berks Development Fund. So Deb will also offer some thoughts as we go through the presentation. So again, thank you. Thank you for your presentation, or excuse me, thank you for allowing us to provide this presentation, and thank you for the partnership we have with you. With that, turn it over to Aaron.
Thanks, Jim. I appreciate it. Just wanted to give an overview of some of the tools that we have available in the Economic Development Tool Chest as an organization. We are the Certified Economic Development Organization with the PA Department of Community and Economic Development. And throughout the rest of this presentation, I'm going to say DCED just to keep it a little bit shorter. And because we are the CEDO, we are able to access loan programs such as the Pennsylvania Industrial Development Authority. We are a federal and state designated certified development financial institution, or a CDFI, and we're also a partner in the DCED Southeast Prep Region and Engage programs. We also are the coordinator, Berks County coordinator for the Keystone Opportunity Zone, Keystone Innovation Zone, and Greater Reading Enterprise Zone, which was successfully renewed in 2021 with DCED. Participating municipalities include the City of Reading, Bern, Cumru, Exeter, Muhlenberg, and Onalani townships. And we worked with the Albright College Center for Excellence in Local Government, as well as the Berks County Industrial Development Authority, who are key partners in bringing in municipalities together and to pass the resolution to take advantage of the enterprise zone. GRCA also serves as the Foreign Trade Zone 147 grantee. This is made up of 11 counties in South Central Pennsylvania, and the FTZ 147 is the most active in the state of Pennsylvania. So now we're going to get into 2021 highlights. And just wanted to kind of highlight some of the great things that have happened in terms of economic development in 2021. 2 higher education institutions opened or expanded with Alvernia's Collegetown in downtown Reading, Drexel University College of Medicine with Tower Health. Amtrak revealed its vision for service between Reading and New York City. With the 2020 census numbers revealed that the city of Reading is the 4th largest in the state of Pennsylvania. Stitch Fix, a clothing company, launched sustainable made knits, and specifically a brand called Moten Made. UGI opened their $37 million training center in Bern Township, and Penn National Gaming opened their Hollywood Casino in Morgantown, which was a great end of year success. We also were really pleased to host the Building Berks Awards in October of this year after missing the 2020 event due to the pandemic. We celebrated Berks County construction with over 150 attendees and 25 nominated projects. I think what's a really great story to tell here is that those 25 nominated projects represented over $123 million of total investment in Berks County, nearly 2,000 construction jobs, and over 700 jobs were created or retained as they relate to these projects. And they represented over 2.2 million square feet of renovation or new construction in our community. We're really looking forward to hosting the next event in 2023. In August, we compiled and presented a mid-year State of the Economy, which featured the newly released census data, GDP, workforce cost of living data, and we anticipate producing this on an annual basis. The 2021 report will serve as a baseline for annual comparison, and GRCA will continue to present relevant data as it becomes available on a quarter-to-quarter basis. This report was compiled by the GRCA, but used information from JobsEQ, which is a database we share with the county, the bi-monthly intel reports provided to the Berks County Workforce Development Board by the Lancaster Economic Development Company's Center for Regional Analysis, and the Reading Berks Association of Realtors. And while I was preparing this presentation, I wanted to take a look and kind of see from a jobs perspective where we are from February 1 of 2021 to now, to February 1 of 22. And over 62,000 job postings, or approximately 11,000 per month, were posted for jobs in Berks County. And it's not a surprise that the highest number of job openings were in healthcare. And I think that the most recent Berks County Intel report prepared for the Workforce Development Board really summed it up well. Despite tightening labor in Berks County, businesses managed to preserve their workforce. Total employment did not fall in 2021. Instead, the county ended the year with the lowest level of unemployment since June of 2019. This suggests more people are seeking employment. Those people have found jobs. Average hourly earnings in 2021 also grew strongly, minimizing the effect of record high inflation on household finances. And of course, the two largest sectors of employment continue to be manufacturing and healthcare, both making up approximately 18% individually. So what do we do when we are collecting this data? We turn it into, we try to tell a story and turn it into infographics such as the one on the screen to make this digestible information for companies we are talking to that are considering the area, or even Berks-based companies, to remind them about how great it is here. And throughout all of our economic development marketing efforts, such as SelectGreaterReading.com, which launched in January of 2021 and features available properties, workforce data, tax rates, economic development news announcements, as well as video content. This is something we update on a regular basis and then use that content to send out monthly e-newsletters to over 800 recipients to highlight what is next and best in Greater Reading, Pennsylvania. Over the last 3 years, GRCA has focused on talent attraction and retention marketing and the development of tools for employers to use in their recruiting efforts under Meet Greater Reading. We know economic development is many things and often focuses on location, buildings, and costs. Just as important are the people, and that's really come up when we're talking to companies more than ever in 2021. The pandemic has reiterated that workforce and talent is a precious asset. We want Berks County to be the location of choice for people to live, work, learn, play, and grow in our community. With this in mind, we are merging our Select Greater Reading and Meet Greater Reading messaging into one in 2022. We are really excited to roll out this stronger and aligned messaging in late April of this year. So we work to position our community for new companies and the growth of existing Berks County companies. What have we been seeing? In collaboration with the County of Berks, in many cases, we worked with over 134 companies in the following industries that you see on your screen. You'll notice that advanced manufacturing sits at 34%. That's the largest industry that we're seeing either interested companies looking at Berks County and our existing manufacturing companies who are considering growth and expansion. Interestingly, in 2021, you will see that the restaurant, retail, hospitality section is quite large, and that's really due to the CHIRP program, which I'm going to talk about in a minute, and working with those distressed businesses that really were hit hard during the pandemic. So that's usually not as large as it would be in 2021. The average request for space is about 120,000 square feet, give or take. And as I'll talk about on the next slide, the market's really tight, and that's a hard building size to find right now. We've also received a lot of workforce data requests looking for availability and wage information so that companies in Berks County can remain competitive through the hiring process. And it's been really great to work with both Pam Ship-Mennett and Derek Harris on responding to and hosting companies looking at our community. We really saw an uptick in Q4 of 2021 in terms of hosting companies with different people being more comfortable with traveling and also international restrictions being lifted. GRCA continues to maintain an over 500 property commercial and industrial database. As of this week, there are approximately 61 properties available. That's the lowest I've seen that number in some time due to the tightening of available sites in the market. So in addition to attraction of new business and investment, we support the growth and retention of Berks County businesses. We're part of the Southeast Prep Region Engage program, which is a state-based business calling program. We worked with 80 companies in 2021. Those are Berks-based companies. It's really important to understand where there may be commonalities amongst companies. Of course, it's no surprise right now that workforce and supply chain challenges continue to be the two primary pain points we're hearing most frequently. And that's certainly not unique to Berks County. Those are issues that companies are facing across the state and the US currently. As we connect Berks County businesses with resources to address both their opportunities and their challenges, professional development and training opportunities are a key part of internal growth and retention for companies' employees. In 2021, GRCA facilitated over 45 training programs that served numerous industries and employees at varying levels in their company or career. So we talked a little bit about manufacturing a few slides ago. It's one of the most stable industries, and it's also a key industry in Berks County. And as such, GRCA facilitated the Next Gen Industry Partnership, which expanded in 2021 to include 156 companies. Meetings were held both quarterly and monthly. And on October 27th of last year, we hosted a manufacturing summit at RAC's campus during the nationally recognized Manufacturing Month. The event featured keynote speaker Denise Ball, workforce development specialist for Tooling USME, as well as additional presentations and a job fair featuring over 30 local manufacturing companies. And we're looking forward to hosting the summit again in 2022. The Next Gen grant, which was through DCED, was not funded for the 22-23 fiscal year. However, GRCA will continue to facilitate the Manufacturing Industry Partnership and the 3 committees focused on leadership, talent attraction, and retention, again tying into that Meet Greater Reading messaging, as well as training. In addition to manufacturing, agriculture is an incredibly important industry in Berks County, and our organization has been really pleased to collaborate with a few different entities, and we've supported the ag industry in the following ways. We worked in collaboration with the Berks County Department of Agriculture by sending monthly newsletters to over 500 Berks County-based ag producers and makers that features industry news and available resources, including funding opportunities as well as education opportunities. Grow Together has been a really successful ag-focused marketing campaign to educate the Berks County consumer and connect them directly to ag producers and makers locally. One example of this, in addition to seasonal and holiday-focused content, GRCA produced a holiday food and gift guide in collaboration with the Berks Agricultural Resource Network, or BARN. We also focused on financing. Many of our Pennsylvania Industrial Development Authority loans have served the ag industry, particularly in 2020 and 2021. 6 loans were successfully submitted on behalf of existing Berks companies. Those loans totaled over $1.9 million and leveraged over $7.5 million in total project cost. Greater Berks Development Fund is, as a designated CDFI, which I mentioned early on in the presentation, received rapid response funds from the U.S. Treasury to support projects in the target market, which is the city of Reading. We were able to deploy a portion of those funds to support the ongoing development of 46 South 5th Street, or the Elks Club. This is a redevelopment project by Schumann Development Group. This is a great example of taking advantage of a unique funding opportunity as a CDFI to support development projects in the community. And we continue to seek these opportunities out as they present themselves. Favorite acronym in economic development to date, CHIRP. As the Certified Economic Development Organization, Greater Berks Development Fund was the designated entity approved by the Berks County Commissioners, thank you, to administer the COVID-19 Hospitality Industry Recovery Program funds, or CHIRP. We were so pleased to be able to work with both the county and over 200 Berks County hospitality-based businesses who are negatively impacted by the pandemic. And the results were, we experienced great success with this, 177 approved applicants, over $4.6 million in grants were dispersed. The success of CHIRP was realized through numerous collaborative efforts, not only with the County of Berks, but also the Berks County Latino Chamber of Commerce, Kutztown University Small Business Development Center, PA Americana Region, and our Main Street Communities leadership. So again, in the alignment of economic development resources, Greater Berks Development Fund, I've been saying that name, is an affiliate of the Greater Reading Chamber Alliance, is a property owner of both buildings and land, primarily focused on serving Berks County companies. And after 25 years of ownership, GBDF sold 600 Penn Street to Schumann Development Group and will continue to support Alan Schumann's plans for the building. In 2021, over 130 acres were sold, largely to existing Berks County companies seeking to expand their operations. A great example of a growing family-owned Berks County company is Right Now Truck. They're currently located in Muhlenberg and Creamery Townships. Due to the growth of the company, the Onalani Township land will be used to construct a 450,000 square foot state-of-the-art facility. The project will retain 250 skilled employees with the potential for future growth. 11 acres in Bern Township were sold to G&T Industries, a foam fabricator with multiple locations in the U.S. The company will be moving from a leased facility in Berks to ownership of a newly constructed 100,000 square foot facility, solidifying their Berks County presence. And in September, we all celebrated UGI opening their $37 million training center in Bern Township, and that was a piece of land that Greater Berks Development Fund had sold to UGI. So I've been primarily reporting out on attraction, retention, and growth. An important factor around growth is supporting startups and small businesses. And our community is really fortunate to have a depth of resources available that serve small businesses and entrepreneurs. GRCA has been working collaboratively with the Berks Alliance to facilitate productive conversations with organizations like Penn State Berks Lunchbox, Kutztown Small Business Development Center, Alvernia University OPAC Institute, Albright College SRI, and the list goes on. It's pretty comprehensive. And we've been having conversations together to better understand what each does, areas of expertise, and available resources. This evolved into the Berks Alliance securing funding from the Why Missing Foundation to hire a facilitator who also worked on Cultivate Lancaster. And we're really looking forward to seeing those results later this year. So we're working with our Main Street communities and any municipality that is interested in taking on economic and community development projects. And that's something we'll continue to do in 2022 as well. This support can look like hosting a walking tour of available spaces in the downtown area in partnership with the Reading Berks Association of Realtors and the City of Reading, as well as providing assistance to the City of Reading in its $1.4 million multimodal application for Phase 2 of the Oak Brook Safety Trail along Hancock Boulevard and East Wyomissing Boulevard. Construction of Phase 1 is currently underway, and an additional $600,000 was awarded to the city for Phase 2. GRCA also hosts the Penn Street Market from June through September in downtown Reading, and it's a great, vibrant weekly event on Penn Street and also serves as a seasonal hub for fresh food. So in 2022, we're looking forward to focusing on business retention, business attraction, and community and economic development across the municipalities of Berks County. We're pleased to continue our partnership with the County of Berks in 2022 and look forward to providing updates on this work. We welcome your questions and comments at this time. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Jim Gerlach, Aaron Gantz, Deb Millman. Very well done presentation. I had a discussion with some of the team, actually Aaron and Deb, earlier this week, and one of their concerns, they're not taking credit for all the economic development growth in Berks County, but they clearly are the entity that represents a majority of the businesses in Berks County. and they have partnered on numerous economic development efforts and projects across a wide array of opportunities. And I think that was a great presentation. Appreciate it. Before I open up to my colleagues, I want to note that right now the plan is that sometime in June or July, we will have another full presentation. I shared with Aaron and Deb that if at any time there's some significant area or project or something that they feel we need to know about and the public needs to know about, they'll be working with Pam Shupp-Mennett, who is our economic development coordinator, to get that information out here at a public meeting. But thank you very much, and I'll open it up to my colleagues.
Very comprehensive and very well done. I thank you for the presentation. Thank you.
I want to thank you for the presentation and as well for all the work you do to help the economy in Berks County grow. There's a lot of good things happening here, and as you mentioned, it's a team effort. It's not one organization. It's not county government. It's everyone working together to be able to make this happen. So thank you, and we look forward to continue working with you the rest of the year and into the future.
Thank you. Great to be with you today. Thanks for your partnership with us. Thanks also to Pam and Derek on your team working with us on a day-to-day basis. Look forward to a lot of great things here in 2022. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Moving on with our agenda, our next item is the Berks County COVID-19 data report along with the Co-County Wellness Update. And I'll recognize Brian Gottschall, the director of our Berks County Department of Emergency Services and lead on the Berks County COVID-19 leadership team. Brian.
Thanks, Commissioner. Hopefully again this week, a very brief and pretty positive update. Our cases continue to fall at the same precipitous rate that they rose. As we mentioned last week, our big question is, how low will it go? We hope that we continue to see this downward trend all the way down to the bottom again, but we do look at that cautiously as the data that we're seeing from other countries that experience similar Omicron surges saw case counts come down and then begin to plateau out at a still fairly significant rate within the community. Of course, the good news continues to be that although there appears to be widespread Omicron infections through the community, the infections are not causing hospitalizations and or deaths at nearly the rate that we have seen in prior variants of the disease. Again, this map, although it's alarming in red, it refers to case rates. It has nothing to do with how severe that disease is or whether it's creating deaths, but it indicates that across the entire United States, apparently except for 4 or 5 counties, which appear to have some secret that the rest of us don't have, there is still continued widespread Omicron primarily spread. Our pediatric cases continue to decline at the same rate that we see the community cases declining, with the slopes of the up curves almost matching the slopes of the down curves. We like to see that kind of trending because it helps to make sense and ensure that we understand what we're seeing is valid and real. We continue to have a problem with hospital data coming out of St. Joe's, so we continue to not be able to show that with any clarity. But our Reading hospital cases, our Tower Health Reading cases, continue to show a decline week over week that matches our community case rate declines. The numbers are very much in proportion to what we would expect to see with vaccinated and unvaccinated, and the numbers continue to trend downward. Commissioner Leinbach, you had a question?
Yes, I think it might be appropriate to touch on how this trend is different than the trends we saw with the original surge and the Delta surge. Normally, hospitalizations are going up, deaths are going up. You've alluded to that, but maybe this is a good time to talk about how different this data is.
And I apologize, you threw me a curveball with the question, or else I would have had a graphic prepared to address this. But I think those who are regular watchers of the presentation will recall in the past that I've shown a dual axis graph that maps the cases and the deaths over top of each other and shows that there's a clear lag between those two. Generally, as cases start to climb, a week to 2 weeks later, we see hospitalizations start to climb. And then following that, another week and a half to 2 weeks, we start to see the deaths trending in the same way. And then as cases come down, hospitalizations come down a little slower, and the deaths come down after that. So we refer to that as lagging indicators of cases. And one of the things that's very important to understand now, we had a very confusing situation because we had a Delta surge along with the holiday season where we knew that people were moving around and doing things more than they might otherwise be doing. And all of that created a high opportunity for spread of Delta. And then on the heels of that came Omicron and the rapid spread of Omicron. And then in the middle of the rapid spread of Omicron, we had all of these high hospitalization numbers and our deaths started to go up again. But it's unclear that those really had anything to do with the Omicron spread. They likely were the lagging indicators of the Delta situation. So now we're starting to kind of untangle all of that data. And here what we're seeing on the back end is even though our Omicron cases have peaked and are on the downside, our hospitalizations continue to come down in line with Omicron, not because they're coming down in a way that's not lagging behind Omicron, but because we're seeing the tailing off of what would have been the Delta surge had Omicron not been there. So that I don't know if I explained that super well, particularly without the graphic, but I think that the important walkaway is to say that it's likely that the surge in hospitalizations and deaths that we saw during Omicron were really created by the prior Delta surge, not by the Omicron surge that was going on at the same time. And Commissioner Barnhart, I think you have a question.
Why is it an ongoing issue trying to get data from Penn State St. Joe's?
We're not 100% sure about that. We did inquire with them. I believe that they're having some data reporting problems. When I asked locally, I was told that that at the system level, and meaning at headquarters back at Penn State Hershey, they were working on this problem, but we still don't have the data available to us at this time.
Don't they have to report that to the Department of Health?
I wouldn't want to, my gut instinct would just say yes, that they are reporting data to DOH, but they're having a problem getting it on their dashboard in a way that it's visible. But I want to also emphasize that I'm saying that off the cuff as my gut instinct, not because I know for sure that that's the case. I don't know whether the problems that they're having are collecting that data within the hospital and ascertaining who is and isn't unvaccinated and all that kind of stuff, or if they're just having a problem displaying that data for public consumption. I want to be very cautious and not, presuppose what the issues are without knowing for sure.
I know you're not their spokesperson. I just thought you might have some insight.
I do not. When we asked, we were simply told that it was an issue that was being addressed at the system level.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. So continuing on in the good news, I don't know who the person is that gets to declare this. I know it's not me, but if I were, I think I'd be declaring the 21-22 influenza season over. I'm not quite sure, based on any current trends of the last 8 years, how we could see influenza make a return based on the trends that we're seeing now. But at the end of the day, the real good news is they're great trends, and we hope to see it continue this way all the way down to baseline and say that we don't have ongoing influenza impacts to our healthcare community or the public. With respect to current events and things on the horizon, I think we certainly have to mention that there's been a lot of news about the under 5 vaccine and believe that that is very close. We're still awaiting both FDA and CDC approval for that, but all indications are that that could happen as early as the end of February as they continue to go through the data provided by the manufacturers. And building on what we mentioned last week about Omicron BA2, still building on that knowledge base, I had actually hoped that we would have some better information as of this week, but as the data is developing slowly, what we know at this moment is that there's really no change in the outlooks compared to what we talked about last week. Although it is a subvariant, although it does appear to be more contagious even than Omicron BA1, the outcome is that it looks like it has the same conditions in causing disease and death, which is to say very low. We also don't have any better information as to whether having had Omicron BA1, which of course a lot of people did, gives you clear immunity to BA2. That's still information being developed. And right now, this remains a variant that is considered under investigation, not of concern, which would be the tag given to it by public health authorities if there was a belief that it was going to create a new big explosion or problems for our communities. Moving on to our Cook County Wallace report for this week, a little bit of better news than what we've been seeing. Of course, their work volume is down, as indicated by adding up the numbers in the most recent column for the 2-week period compared to prior 2-week periods where case counts were very high. But the real good news is that you can see that the percentage of each column made up of green and orange is better than it has been in the last few weeks, which indicates a greater engagement by the community and the community working with them more closely to do these case investigations. The same thing is shown over here to a lesser degree in the contact investigations. Our green line by percentage is a little bit bigger, and our total numbers, of course, are significantly smaller. So they continue to do great work, and for this last 2-week period, we saw a little bit better cooperation from the community. Hopefully that's not an anomaly, and we'll see that continue in future reporting periods. And finally, just a reminder for everyone that we are still offering COVID-19 testing here at DES. All of this information is on doyourpartberks.com for folks that might miss it here in the presentation. 2 big things I want to mention at the bottom in bold. Number one, we've now seen significant improvements in test processing times based on certainly a reduced volume, but also the new processes and procedures that were put in place by DOH and their contractor. And I also want to mention that throughout the day, our volume has reduced to the point that you can pretty much pull up, get in line, get your sample, and go along with your life. There is almost no waiting times for the sampling at this point in time. So folks should feel comfortable coming in even if they only have a few minutes to do it. And I guess I have to always mention the caveat that is subject to change at any given time, of course, if a lot of people show up at once. We would ask the people that come to the testing site follow the red arrow down Van Reed Road off of 183 to enter. And just reiterating, www.doyourpartberks.com for information about testing, vaccine, and COVID in general. With that, Commissioners, if no other questions, I'm back to you.
Thank you very much. Any questions or comments from my colleagues? Hearing none, we will move on with the agenda. Are there any additions or corrections for the January 27th Commissioner meeting minutes? Hearing none, the minutes will stand approved as presented. We did have 2 executive sessions yesterday. February the 2nd, the one, and I just dropped my note here. Hold on a second. Help me out here, Cody. I thought I posted it and I didn't.
They were for litigation, real estate, and personnel.
Correct. That was the first executive session, and then a little bit later we went into a second executive session that was exclusive to litigation. Thank you very much. Sorry about that. Cody had sent that to me. I thought I pasted it into my notes, but I failed to do that. Anne Marie Grill, are there any public comments on specific agenda items?
Nothing on specific agenda items.
Thank you very much. Moving to the agenda under authorizing, Budget Department. Adopt a resolution authorizing 2021 budget transfers in the amount of $306,135 and 2021 appropriations in the amount of $19,760,713 and 2022 transfers in the amount of $198,134 per listing dated January the 28th of 2022. There are a number of items listed under Human Resources. Item 1, authorize the appointment of Paige Rigner to the Director of Election Services. Just want to note here, we're very excited to bring Paige on board. Paige comes to us from the office of State Representative Ryan McKenzie. All 3 commissioners interviewed her. We dealt specifically with the issue of this being a nonpartisan role, her experience with the caucus and legislature in Harrisburg. We're very excited about bringing her on board, and she's fully committed to run this office in a nonpartisan, transparent, and effective fashion. Item 2, authorize the appointment of Dominic DePaul to Senior Financial Analyst in Budget and Finance. Item 3, authorize the appointment of Anthony McCloskey to Facilities Manager in Facilities and Operations. Item 4, authorize the promotion of Mitchell Salvatore from Accounting Assistant to Senior Governmental Accountant in the Controller's Office. And number 5, authorize the transfer of John DeTizio from Internal Auditor to Accounting Assistant in the Controller's Office. There are a number of items listed under the Commissioners. Item A, adopt a resolution authorizing the chair to execute the 2021-2022 Pelican Loss Grant Program application for the Berksheim. Item B, adopt a resolution authorizing the chair to execute the proposed program cost stop loss reporting for the County of Berks group through Capital Blue Cross. Item C, adopt a resolution authorizing the appointment of Alexia C. Pursley, Birdsboro, Pennsylvania, to the Berks County Workforce Development Board for a replacement term beginning February 15th of 2022 to June 30th of 2023. Item D, adopt a resolution authorizing the chair to execute an amendment of a lease agreement between Berks County Nonprofit Development Corporation and the County of Berks to lease office space located at 400 East Wyomissing Avenue in Moulton, PA. This is what Commissioner Barnhart appropriately dubbed the South Campus. This is the lease agreement that formally puts Berks County as a tenant at that facility. Item E, adopt a resolution authorizing the reappointment of Mitchell Darcourt, Wyomissing, Pennsylvania, as the chair of the Berks County Board of Assessment Appeals for a one-year term expiring December 31st of 2022. Item F, adopt a resolution authorizing Justin Luce, Berks County Chief Information Officer, to execute a change order for monthly automated patch testing for the Oracle Cloud application. Item G, adopt a resolution authorizing Brian Gottschall, Director of the Berks County Emergency Services, to electronically execute the U.S. Department of Homeland Security Federal Fiscal Year 2021 Emergency Management Performance Grant Agreement. This is a 50-50 match. The federal grant is in the amount of $120,228 and will be used to enhance and sustain the county's all-hazard emergency management capabilities. Item H, adopt a resolution authorizing a letter of support for developer Alan Schuman and the bidding package for property located at 5th and Penn Streets, Reading, Pennsylvania. Item I, adopt a resolution authorizing the chair to execute an amendment to the agreement extending the original agreement for the Berks County Intermediate Unit to operate general education development program at the Berks County Jail System for an additional one-year term effective January 1st of 2022. Item 2, a motion to authorize execution of contract agreements and amendments as set forth on the attached listing dated January the 31st of 2022. There are a total of 11 contracts, 2 with the Area Agency on Aging, 1 with the Berks County Residential Center, 3 with Children and Youth Services, 2 with Facilities and Operations, 1 with Information Systems, 1 with the Berks County Jail, and 1 with Purchasing. Item 3, a motion to authorize execution of payments and electronic transfers as set forth on the Controller's Office voucher listing. It's dated February the 3rd of 2022. And item 4, a motion to authorize supplemental payroll disbursements dated February 4th of 2022.
Motion to approve the agenda as presented.
Second.
The motion has been made and seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? The motion is carried. We'll move now to our Berks County Treasurer, Dennis Adams, for the Treasurer's Report. Dennis. Okay.
I better take the mics off.
Yes, there we go.
I'm hiding from you. Good morning.
Good morning, Dennis.
We have an opening balance of $168,817,004.76, $41.76. A balance to clear of $4,848,086.41, leaving us with a balance to clear today of, or a balance today of $3,968 or 9,000. I'm stuttering here. 955. Let's start over. $163,898,955.35. I got a rough throat here this morning.
Not a problem, Dennis. Thank you very much. We'll move now to our County Controller, Sandy Graffius, with the Controller's Report. Sandy.
Hey, I have better reading our numbers. Sorry, Denny, didn't mean to throw you under the bus.
That was to make you look good, Sandy.
Total accounts payable is $9,916,452.26. We had a payroll this week, $4,790,494.65. We had to run a supplemental program of $1,102.82 for a grand total for payroll, $4,791,597.47. Total disbursements with payroll going out, $14,708,089.73.
Thank you very much, Sandy. Appreciate that. And we'll move now to our Chief Administrative Officer, Ron Seaman.
Thank you, Commissioner. I have nothing to report at this time.
Okay. With that, we will move to Berks County Commissioner reports, and we'll begin with Commissioner Michael Rivera.
Yes, thank you, Commissioner Leinbach. I have a few things I would like to talk about today. First of all, I'd like to welcome Paige as our new Director of Election Services. Welcome, Paige. I look forward to working with you. I know these upcoming elections will be tough elections, so you'll be thrown right into the fire, but welcome. We're here to support you and provide you with what you need to be successful. Also want to congratulate the Amy Resch and the Berks County Library System and all of those who won awards on this past Tuesday. They had the 19th Annual Berks Library Awards, which included awards for 2020 and 2021 since they were not able to hold one last year. The one this year was moved to virtual, so it was held virtually. But I want to thank everyone that participated, everyone that nominated, and also want to thank all the staff, the volunteers, and the board members for the libraries here in Berks County. The work that you do is amazing throughout. To start the award presentation, I spoke about the accomplishments of some of the libraries, the collaborations they had. And it's just amazing the work that they did throughout the last 2 years to help meet the needs of the local communities that they are engaged in. So again, to all the staff, volunteers, and board members, thank you very much for your good work and continue doing what you do. Another thing I want to touch on is on this Monday, February 7th, BCPS is having a Returning Citizens Career Fair. And this will be from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the DoubleTree. And this is for individuals who are on probation, parole, or have a past involvement in the criminal justice system or domestic relations involvement. You'll have the opportunity to meet second chance employers. If you're going, bring a resume if you have one, and there will be assistance and career fair coaching as well on site. And make sure you dress for success because you will be able to interview right on site there. So again, please help share this information. It's a returning citizens career fair at the DoubleTree on Monday between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. The last item I want to speak on, and I'm going to share my screen here, which I have not done for a while, so there, got it. The ARP application is out. If you want more information on the application, the guidelines, how it works, you can visit the county's website. When you open the website on the home page, you'll see here at the top left, that's scrolling, but if it's the one that's open, you can click on it, or you can go right underneath it here. It'll say American Rescue Plan. Once you click on that, another page will open, which will have information on the American Rescue Plan. There's a section here for how to apply for the grant. It's both in English and in Spanish as well, so you can apply. You can see the application. You can see the guidelines as well. And then another part that's very important is this expenditure dashboard. We want to make sure that we're transparent, just as we did with the CARES dollars, where we had a dashboard showing how and where the money was being used. We're doing the same thing with the ARP. You can go click on this dashboard here. Another window will open up. And as you can see here, Berks County is expected to get a total of $81,680,000. So far, we've received $40,903,000, and total expenditures here are $7.4 million. If you go back, it'll tell you where the money was spent, how it was spent, public health, negative economic impact, services for hardest hit communities, and infrastructure investment. And the last one is administrative and other. So there's a lot of information here as to how the money is being spent. We do want to be transparent in this process. So if you do have any questions, please feel free to reach out to Karen May, and I will stop sharing now. Again, please help get this information out there for those entities, business organizations that may be in need of grant money. And that's all I have. Commissioner Linebaugh, back to you.
Thank you very much, Commissioner Rivera. We'll move now to Commissioner Kevin Barnhart.
Thank you, Commissioner Linebaugh, and thank you, Commissioner Rivera, for explaining in detail the website for the rescue dollars. It's critically important. People spend February and March applying for the rescue dollar allocation that was approved at our Tuesday budget ops meeting. I too want to congratulate Paige Rigner for her appointment as Election Services Director. I think she certainly comes well experienced, and we did have a first round set of interviews with many applicants. That was the first round, but the second round included the Board of Commissioners, and we interviewed 4 people, and Paige definitely was selected, and I wish her many years of success in election services. Coupled with that, at the salary board meeting this morning at 8:30, we also added 2 additional registrars in election services to build a team. And we also made some adjustments to positions, election operations systems manager and election project supervisor. So not only did we find a real gem of a candidate, Paige Rigner, we also are building the team that we have in election services, because we know as time goes on, each election has its own set of challenges. So if you're looking for an exciting career, that's never a dull moment. We do have 2 positions available in election services that we created this morning to support the efforts of our elections director as she sails this ship down the road for us. So welcome, Paige, and welcome to anyone who is interested in serving in county government and election services. We're looking for bright and enthusiastic people to help us in election services. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Commissioner Barnhart. I will add to that that if you look at our salary board meeting this morning, some items on HR today, items on HR last week. We also are actively working to restructure elections, to provide them with the additional staff that they need, because at the end of the day, election integrity and transparency is critical for the public trust, and we are doing everything we can at our level, hopefully in 2022, The governor and the legislature will take a look at some fundamental election reform that we have been asking for and continue to ask for. The two most important areas are pre-canvassing and moving back the deadline for absentee ballots. There's almost universal agreement on those two areas. Hopefully they actually happen this year. That is all that I have. Do we have any comments from our row officers? Hearing none, I will turn to my executive assistant, Anne Marie Grill, and ask her to please read the public comment.
Thank you, Commissioner. Luis Grime from Wyomissing says, good morning, Commissioners. Just read in the Reading Eagle yesterday about the Prison Project Committee and want to thank Kevin Barnhart and the other commissioners for their commitment to, number one, constructing a prison that aligns with evolving views of incarceration held by several important stakeholders in our community. Number two, consulting not-for-profit, outcome-centered organizations with significant expertise in the area to help improve outcomes and right-size our new prison. Number three, establishing a website that will inform the public by providing regular updates about the project as well as gather input from residents. Again, the openness and transparency and inclusiveness with which this project is being undertaken is very much appreciated, and many of us look forward to learning more about it as it evolves. We have another one from Jane Palmer in Wyomissing, and she says, good morning, Commissioners. I appreciate that you're taking the long view and planning for the new jail, as it's a huge investment and must last for decades. As you work with CGL, I urge you to include environmental sustainability among your most important considerations, as reducing our carbon footprint will also reduce taxes, resource consumption, and pollution while providing a healthier environment for inmates, staff, and the community at large. Fiscal and environmental responsibility are not at odds here, because building green has profound economic benefits that will begin immediately and occur over the lifetime of the building. According to the U.S. Department of Justice, the path to sustainability is not only technically feasible for correctional facilities, but also critical as it allows us to reduce our cost of doing business, assist in making our communities more sustainable, help our inmates reintegrate into society in a productive and meaningful way, and ultimately ensure that we are preserving our environment now and for generations to come. Let's be a model for our communities by building a cutting-edge green new jail. And we have one last one from Michelle Raymond in Carnarvon, and she says, please provide status of emergency declaration. That's all the comments.
Thank you very much. That closes our comment period. I do want to recognize Brian Gottschall to address the last comment regarding the state of the emergency declaration.
Thank you, Commissioners. Yes, in response to the citizen inquiry, the local disaster declaration at the county level still does remain in effect and will remain in effect until it is terminated publicly by the commissioners. I do think it's worthwhile taking a moment to mention for the public what this local disaster declaration does and doesn't do. And I know, of course, we did talk about this when the declaration was put into effect well over a year ago, and then again in the late fall as the Omicron surge was impending. We've received many inquiries, and I think also downtown has received inquiries about certain actions within the community, particularly related to our school districts and things like that, and how the school districts are able to take certain actions when the county has a disaster declaration in effect. And I think it's a legitimate bit of confusion given kind of the naming and terminology used. But what I think is important to emphasize to the public is that the county's declaration of disaster emergency, as permitted under state law, under PA Title 35, really only guides the county's operation. We put in place declarations of disaster emergencies with respect to flooding or wind events, or of course, with respect to the COVID pandemic. And that is intended to allow the county departments and county leadership to take certain actions to circumvent certain state laws that relate to procurement and contracting so that we can move more quickly and more efficiently to serve the community at the level that we provide the service. But this process doesn't give the county commissioners authorities that they don't otherwise have. For example, one of the common questions that we've heard from the public is, how can school district XYZ not require masking or not enforce contact tracing of positive cases in the schools when the county has a disaster emergency in effect? And the reality is that our disaster emergency declaration does nothing to compel a school district or a local government, which is a legal authority in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, a legal government authority who is empowered to undertake the responsibilities that are assigned to them in the way that they best see fit and answer to their constituents for their actions. So again, thank you very much for the question. The disaster declaration remains in effect at the county level, and we continue to operate within county government under the benefits of that disaster declaration, but it does not compel any other local government unit within Berks County to act in any specific way that the county believes they should act, or otherwise give the commissioners the authority to compel them to do so.
In short, prior to the declaration, the county had no authority over local businesses, schools, municipalities, and this doesn't change that. This is exclusively an internal document, internal to county government. So thank you very much, Brian. We had Brian answer that because in part in the emergency declaration, Brian Gottschall is the director of the Department of Emergency Services, and Ron Seaman is our chief administrative officer, are empowered to make decisions in the context of that emergency declaration, and again, only as it relates to Berks County government operations. Any other comments from my colleagues?
Nope.
Okay,
Motion to adjourn.
Second?
the meeting stands adjourned.